Hello again, welcome to another video. Now, many years ago, something like autofocus was nothing but a dream to people. Nowadays, it's on every single digital camera you can buy. So, with all the various different things you can take pictures of, cars, bikes, landscape photos or wildlife, it's to be expected that you want your camera to focus in different ways. So that's what we're going to be covering in this video. So, let's get to it. Now, there are three main focusing modes that you'll come across within photography. Now, the first one is called one-shot AF if you're using a Canon DSLR, and the other one is called single servo AF if you're on a Nikon camera. In this mode, the camera will only focus once on a certain point and it will hold its focus in that position. So let's say if you focus on something 3 meters away, as long as you don't then refocus the image, it will always be focused at 3 meters. Now, this mode is mostly suited for when you're photographing something that isn't moving, because obviously if you're staying still taking a picture of it, the focus isn't going to change, so one-shot focus is quite good for this situation. Now, the next focusing mode is called AI servo on Canon cameras, and then continuous servo AF on Nikon cameras. Now, this is where it essentially continuously focuses the image without actually locking in a focus. So let's say if you start focusing something, let's say again 3 meters away, but then you move your camera and then something 10 meters away is focusing, it will then jump to that focus and then be focused at 10 meters until you move the camera again to something else. This is obviously quite useful for something that's moving, because let's say if you're taking a picture of a bike going by or a car, it will probably start out further away from you, then come closer, and then further away again. So obviously, let's say if you were using one-shot AF, you'd focus it far away, the shot close to you probably won't be in focus at all, and then the shot as it going away won't be in focus again until it gets to that same distance. Now, there's a third focusing mode that can also be found on DSLRs, which is it's basically a mix of the two. It's meant to be able to intelligently tell when it needs to continuously focus or one-shot focus. Now, most of the time when I find with shooting, this isn't really necessary, because usually my situation is if I either need one shot totally, or I totally need AI servo. So really, I don't tend to use this, but maybe in what you shoot, you might be 1 second shooting something moving and 1 second shooting something that's not moving. So that might be after something you'll have to try and see how well you get on with it. But really, even then, if you're shooting something still, AI servo still doesn't do a bad job. It still may bring in some issues where it continuously tries to focus and it might miss focus when it tries to actually find it. Now, despite all this, there are a few situations where autofocus may not cut it. Usually in low light, where there's not a lot of light coming into the lens and hitting the sensor for the autofocus to work, then the autofocus may not work too well. It may miss focus, it may not even be able to focus on what you want it to at all, because obviously the camera doesn't see light and low light in the way that you do. And the other situation is if it's a very low contrast scene, because usually camera autofocus relies on contrast between two objects to kind of gather focus and figure out when it's got an image sharp. But if you're in these kind of situations, you may actually be better off either using live view to focus manually, or just focusing manually without live view, but I usually find this is quite difficult when you're not using a manual film cam. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you found it useful in various autofocus modes you can find within photography. Now, if you're interested in various gear I use for taking photos and video, you can find them linked in the video description. Like the video if you liked it, dislike, discard it, make sure you subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you again in another video.